Welcome to Volume 1 of the How to Lucid Dream and Have Out-of-Body Experiences presentation series. In this presentation, you'll learn how to trick your body into falling asleep to enter a lucid dream. We'll cover the following topics. We'll learn how you can speak the body's biological language so you can give it the commands to fall asleep while you keep your mind awake. We'll find out how you can tell how deep in trance you are by listening to the body's signals. We'll find out how you can optimize your brain chemistry to make lucid dreams much more likely and much more vivid. We'll cover a method that you can use to have dozens of lucid dreams rapidly, one after the other. We'll find out how you can fall asleep quickly, but without falling so far asleep that you can't become lucid. Finally, we'll find out how to conquer fear in dreams. First of all, how do you know if you're in a lucid dream? Ask yourself two questions. Are you aware that you're in a dream? And do you remember that your body is asleep in bed? Sometimes in a dream, something will happen that causes you to realize that you're dreaming. However, most of the time, we don't make the full connection and recall waking life. These are near lucid dreams, but not quite full lucid dreams. It's by consciously remembering that your body is really asleep in bed that you go the full circle to become lucid. Another type of dream is the inverse of a near lucid dream, in which you do have full memory of your waking life, but you don't realize you're dreaming. That can happen like this. You may dream you get up in the morning and get ready for the day. You get up and get dressed, but then wake up and realize that it was just a dream. That's called a false awakening. Those dreams can be extremely convincing because they're so solid and vivid. They indicate just how powerful the subconscious is to be able to construct such a realistic dream environment. Yet, without the knowledge that you're dreaming, no matter how bright or clear it is, it's not yet a lucid dream. So to be able to answer yes to both of those questions, we need a way to consciously access the subconscious. Most lucid dreaming methods rely on mental techniques to access the subconscious. However, in this presentation, we're going to focus on using the body's own biology to automatically put us in a subconscious focus by using something called sleep paralysis. What is sleep paralysis? Sleep paralysis is a protection mechanism the body uses when you sleep. If you dream you're doing something very active, such as running, and you're not in sleep paralysis, then your body might start to make the motion of running while you're in bed and you'll wake yourself up. To prevent that from happening, the body disconnects the voluntary muscle system from the mind, so you can dream all you like without the body accidentally responding. Normally we're not aware of that happening, as the mind is either not focused on anything and is unconscious, or it's completely absorbed in a dream and we have no focus on the physical body. But we're going to learn about entering a state called mind awake, body asleep, in which we will remain aware and feel what it's like to watch the body shut itself down and put itself to sleep. So what does it feel like when we enter sleep paralysis while keeping the mind awake? It feels like a lead blanket being laid over your body. Often it feels like it starts at your feet, comes up over your chest, and ends at your head. When that process is complete, the body has put itself to sleep and you're in paralysis. If you've entered full paralysis, then you won't be able to move at all except for your face. You will be able to look around and control your breathing, but you won't be able to move your arms or legs. Sometimes the paralysis is incomplete and you can still move your muscles, although it's difficult and feels like your body is made of wax. How to enter sleep paralysis. The basic strategy is to trick the body into thinking it's already asleep. If you lay still long enough, the body does not know if the mind has fallen asleep. So in order to tell when it's safe to enter paralysis, the body sends a test signal to the mind, asking it if it's asleep. This test signal feels like an urge to roll over. Normally, if you're awake and you feel like you should roll over, you just do it without thinking. When you move, the body knows that the mind is not asleep, so it does not enter paralysis. If the mind is asleep, then the message is not acted on, and the body decides it's safe to shut down. So you can short-circuit this mechanism simply by ignoring the urge to roll over. If you ignore it long enough, eventually the body will believe you and go to sleep while you remain aware. The urge to roll over can be very subtle and you never notice it. Other times the urge can be powerful to the point of being almost painful. It seems like the less sure the body is that the mind is asleep, the stronger the test signal. If you're sort of tense but unrested and the body wants to go to sleep, you'll likely get a more urgent test message. Tricks like this are very much as if we're speaking in the body's language. The body has a communication protocol it uses to interact with the mind, and the rollover signal is just one of the words in this language. Another word in this language is to keep the eyes extremely still. The body expects to be still for a long period before sending the urge to roll over, but inactivity in the eyes makes the biggest difference in fooling the body into thinking it's time to test using the rollover message. Throughout the day, the eyes are searching for changes in motion. Because of this, the eyes make tiny micro-movements all the time, and at the end of the day, they are still making these micro-movements, even though you may want to go to sleep. If you close your eyes and try to keep them still, you'll find that after about 30 seconds, they are still twitching very slightly. It's not easy to totally relax the eyes. However, if you can keep them at complete ease for several minutes, the body will interpret that as a signal that the mind may have fallen asleep. So, in order to practice falling asleep quickly, when you go to sleep at night, put special attention on your eyes and let them relax deeply until there is no tension in them at all. It may take several nights of practice, but once you get a feeling for having very relaxed eyes, it becomes much easier to relax them again. You should also practice getting a feeling for what the eyes feel like when you first wake up in the morning before you even open your eyes. In fact, practicing not moving at all when you first wake up is a good lucid dream skill. Oftentimes, if you have not moved at all when you wake up, you can relax directly back into your most recent dream and slip into paralysis again. How to finish incomplete paralysis. If you can keep the eyes perfectly still and the body perfectly still for about 15 or 20 minutes, then if you're tired enough, the body will enter paralysis. Sometimes the paralysis is not deep enough to be usable for lucid dreaming. In this case, to deepen the paralysis, there are two tricks you can use. The first is to simply breathe deeply and slowly to relax the body. I have not found a specific breathing pattern that consistently puts the body into paralysis. It's generally best to breathe at a rate that feels natural. The second trick is less obvious. You may have seen a dog asleep that you could tell was dreaming that it was running because its legs twitched slightly. The dog was in sleep paralysis, which allowed its mind to dream and its body to remain relatively still. However, the fact that the dog's body was not totally still gives us another very powerful trick for completing sleep paralysis. Recall that our strategy is to trick the body into entering whatever state we want by pretending we are already in that state. If you are in partial paralysis and you act like you're really in full paralysis by twitching your muscles slightly, then your body will think you're dreaming and paralysis is keeping you from moving. This will cause the body to fully paralyze the region of your body that you twitch. If you twitch your finger, you'll find your hand paralyzes. If you twitch your right arm, then the upper right half of your body will paralyze. So to go from partial paralysis to full paralysis, simply twitch an arm very slightly once or twice every 10 or 15 seconds for a minute or so. If this doesn't give you paralysis after a minute, then you're not relaxed enough. You don't want to twitch too much, or you'll wake your body up. The twitch should be just enough to make the muscles somewhat tense, but not enough to move your hand or arm. The twitch should last the smallest fraction of a second. Once you have one part fully paralyzed, go on to the rest of the body to enter full paralysis. How to tell how close to full sleep paralysis you are without moving. While inducing paralysis, you might not actually feel the heaviness sensation because sometimes it's very subtle. You might also fall asleep for a moment and miss the shutting down process. You may not feel